These are my full card picks and predictions for UFC 317. Everyone highlighted in the red is going to be my pick to win their fight. Obviously, if you guys just want to screenshot and move along with your day, I would not be offended at all, man. By all means, take the information as you will, but I am going to be going through and breaking down each individual matchup. Starting off with the main event, I do believe that Ilia Topuria is going to beat Charles Oliveira. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Charles Oliveira is, he's so experienced. He started his career before Ilia Topuria even became a professional, and Charles Oliveira has been submitting professional athletes since Ilia came out the womb and this and that. I don't care. Ilia Topuria has the death beam in his hand, okay? Ilia Topuria not only has insane fight-ending power that I do believe will translate perfectly swell up into the 155-pound division, but his boxing is some of the crispiest boxing that we've seen in the UFC. Okay, I'm talking Max Holloway-esque crispy. Ilia Topuria is a phenomenal striker, and if Charles Oliveira does not get this fight to the ground, this is not going to be a very fun fight for Charles Oliveira. Yes, he can use his teep kicks. Yes, he can use his leg kicks, this and that. But dude, as soon as he closes space with Ilia Topuria, he's in range to get knocked out, okay? Ilia is a threat. As soon as Charles Oliveira closes the distance, Ilia Topuria is a threat. And not to mention, Charles gets hurt in just about every fight that he's in. I just can't pick Charles Oliveira. If Charles Oliveira won this fight, I would honestly be more happy with Charles Oliveira winning than with Ilia Topuria winning. However, I do feel like Ilia Topuria is going to be insanely good for the sport and for the UFC in general. Okay, this guy is going to grow the sport himself single-handedly. I promise you that. 28 years old and he's a phenomenon already, dude. I'm telling you, no glaze, no nothing. Ilia Topuria is going to be an absolute superstar in the sport of mixed martial arts, specifically and hopefully just the UFC. But if this guy ever goes to PFL, I will literally, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I'd do. Let's move on. Alexandre Pantoja is going to beat Kai Kara-France. I get it, okay? You're sitting here, you're looking at me, you're saying, well, didn't you just say Ilia Topuria has an insane power advantage and he's got super crispy boxing and he's going to beat Charles Oliveira even though Oliveira's a better grappler technically on paper? And now you're sitting here and you're going to tell us that Pantoja is going to be Kai Kara-France? Isn't that kind of the same matchup though? No, okay? It's not really the same matchup because Pantoja somehow, some way found a way to literally harden his chin. I mean, I know everyone says it, but that guy has a titanium chin. Okay, I'm convinced he has a titanium chin. Kai Kara-France is not going to pose a single threat. Okay, not a single threat to Alexandre Pantoja. Yes, he might clip him once or twice or three times, get Pantoja's head to kind of just like move, one way or the other, just really quick, like snap his head, but he is not going to drop Pantoja. I've seen it all. I've seen Pantoja overcome some of the craziest adversity in his fights, okay? Yes, he's getting up there in age, but he took literally no damage his last fight. He looked phenomenal. He's coming off of one of his best performances, I would argue, best performances in general. And now he's about to fight a guy that he already beat and didn't just beat convincingly. Okay. I know it was a while ago and I know these guys have gotten better, but just like Kai Kara-France has gotten better, Pantoja has gotten significantly better since then. Okay. Pantoja is going to have a huge grappling advantage. The pressure is what's going to throw Kai off the most. Okay, Kai is a super technical fighter, and Pantoja is the complete opposite. He is chaos in that octagon. That is not going to fare well, and when it comes down to it, I favor Pantoja and his chaotic, brawl-esque style over Kai Kara-France, prevailing and thriving in a technical point, not necessarily point fight, but a very technical fight. Okay, I see Pantoja thriving a lot more than I see Kai thriving. Okay, and last, like I said, but not least, Pantoja is going to force him backwards. His pressure is insane. He is literally chaos in that octagon, and I don't think that's going to fare well at all. At all. For Kai Kara France. Brandon Royval is taking on Joshua Van. Now, this one, I almost went with Brandon Royval, but the one thing that led me to go the opposite and put my trust into Joshua Van was the sole fact that Brandon Royval was concussed less than a month ago. Okay, and that is not some sort of rumor. That is not some sort of, someone on Twitter that wanted to start a thing because Royval hit his head a little bit and he had a little headache and not actually a concussion. No, Royval came out and literally told us he got concussed. He got knocked out and concussed, and he's about to go in against Joshua Van, who's probably going to land at least 150, maybe even 200 strikes on Brandon Royval. Okay, the pace is about to be absolutely insane in this fight. Insane. Okay, and Brandon Royval has a very high pace, but Joshua Van is the perfect opponent to match that pace. Okay, the perfect opponent to match that pace. So that high pace that Brandon Royval uses to his advantage, I don't think he'll be able to use to his advantage in this fight. I just favor Van. He's a little bit more technical in the boxing and the striking, and he's just crispy. It kind of comes back to the whole. I feel like Joshua Van is more likely to do more damage over the course of 15 minutes. He's just going to be a more technical, and he's not going to hit necessarily harder, but I do think he's going to land a little bit more than Brandon Royval. Give me Joshua Van to win the fight by decision. Renato Moicano and Beneil Dariush. I got my boy Money Moicano. Listen, I've seen just about the whole entire MMA community riding with Beneil Dariush. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, Renato Moicano, since Beneil Dariush's last fight, has literally won 4 times, and his only loss was to Islam Makhachev. Okay, Renato Moicano, whether you want to argue he's been dealing maybe with potential lingering injuries or this or that, dude, he is coming off. He did not get injured in the Islam Makhachev fight. He got paid is what he did. Okay, he got paid. He did not get injured. He got paid. And it doesn't help also that Beneil Dariush, just like I mentioned with Brandon Royval, got concussed a few months ago. Now, he's had a little bit more time to recover and, to let his brain heal and his head and whatnot. But don't think for a second, don't think for a lickety freaking second that I'm going to favor someone in a close fight like this that did something to BSD's face the way he did. Okay, and I get it. Beneil Dariush isn't going to let Renato get that position. He's a better grappler, this, that. I understand all of that. Okay, I'm not trusting Beneil Dariush over a guy that has done significant damage to just about every opponent that has come his way except for Islam Makhachev. Okay, he screwed Drew Dober up. Okay, he demolished Benoit Saint Denis. Renato Moicano is going to win this fight. And is he going to finish Beneil Dariush? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if it stays standing, maybe. If it goes to the ground, probably not. Beneil Dariush is pretty solid on the ground. He's a phenomenal grappler. So, but I still got Money Moicano. Payton Talbott and Felipe Lima is the last fight on the pay-per-view card. And let me just say, for everyone counting Payton Talbott out, I think you guys are going to be eating your words. Payton Talbott, I think, will make leaps in his defensive wrestling for this fight. I've seen it all over the place. Felipe Lima is a good grappler. Felipe Lima can take him down with ease. Felipe Lima can snag that back in a lickety split second. I don't know about that. I think he's going to make leaps in his defensive wrestling for this fight. He's not going to be kept down as easily as he was in the Barcelos fight. And listen, the speed, the power, and the explosiveness are all in the favor of Payton Talbott, okay? As long as this fight stays standing, Payton Talbott is going to be in the driver's seat, okay? He's an insane athlete, which is also going to benefit him greatly in this fight. And I do believe that if he can ultimately keep the pressure on Lima, his output is going to win him this fight. Give me Payton Talbott. And I feel like a lot of people are overlooking him in this fight, man. Too many people are overlooking Payton Talbott. Okay, the rest of the card, I'm not going to go through and really break down too much. Jack Hermansson and Gregory Rodrigues. Look, I know Jack Hermansson came in, beat Joe Pyfer, picked his shots against him. But Gregory Rodrigues, let me just say, I know he's coming off a loss in a 5-round fight. 5-round fight. This is a 3-round fight. Okay, Gregory Rodrigues is going to build up his aura again. He's going to go in and he's going to finish Jack Hermansson. Give me Gregory Rodrigues by knockout. Hyder Emil and Jose Delgado. Dude, this fight I kept tossing back and forth, but I'm ultimately going to pick Hyder Emil. Why? Hyder Emil is a dog, and Jose is also a dog, and I feel like Jose, if anyone has an advantage in finishing this fight, it's Jose. Okay, he can submit Hyder, he can knock him out, but let's not act like Hyder isn't a beast. Hyder is going to go in, he's going to go for the kill. His cardio is insane, he's not going to stop, and he's going to put the pressure and the pace on Jose, and I think that's what's going to win him this fight. I think he's going to make Jose wilt, and I do think he's going to beat him 29-28. It'll be close because Jose will definitely do some damage, but give me Hyder Emil to win this fight by a dominant decision or a late TKO. Viviane Araujo and Tracy Cortez. I don't even want to pick this fight because I know for a fact if I sit here and I confidently tell you, yeah, Tracy Cortez is going to win this fight, she is going to go in there tomorrow and stink it the F up and lose this fight. I'm telling you right now, it's bound to happen, but I'm not picking Viviane Araujo. So give me Tracy Cortez to win her fight as well. Terrence McKinney and Slava Claus. Man, I wanted to pick Slava Claus in this fight, but I can't, bro. Terrence McKinney is crazy. He has a weird pattern in his fights too, where he wins, loses, wins, loses, wins, wins, loses, loses, wins. And his pattern is lining up for a win here pretty soon. Okay, so I'm going to take Terrence McKinney to win this fight. Not only because of that, though, I do feel like Terrence McKinney is going to be absolutely dangerous in that first round. And if he can take Slava Claus down, bro, this fight might be over very, very quickly. Dude, Terrence McKinney is one of those guys where even if he takes you down and he's in your guard, he will land elbows from freaking the top of the octagon, okay? I don't know how he does it, but Terrence McKinney finds a way to deal the damage and get fights to end very quickly. Give me Terrence McKinney to win that fight via TKO. Janata Deniz and Alvin Hines. Please, Janata Deniz. Please, Janata Deniz. Please don't let me waste a pick on you, bro. I'm trusting you here. Alvin Hines, there is absolutely no way. I don't even know who this guy is, bro. I don't even know who this guy is. Okay, there's absolutely no way that Janata Deniz is going to let this guy come into the UFC and beat him. Please, Janata Deniz, knock this guy out within a round. Within 2-3 minutes, preferably. Don't make me sweat a whole 5 minutes. But knock him out within a round. And then Nico Price and Jacoby. I don't know if it's Jacob or Jacoby. I think it's Jacoby. Jacoby Smith. Nico Price is not winning this. Nico Price is, I mean, as much as he probably wants to win this fight, I think it's one of those fights where it's literally not winnable. Like, you look at Payton Talbott and Ronnie Barcelos and you sit there and you're like, well, you know, maybe Nico Price could find a way to sneak this out. The savvy vets have done it before, you know, and like, nope. Jacoby Smith is going to absolutely dominate and finish Nico Price. Guys, if you enjoyed the picks and predictions, don't hesitate to drop down, leave a like, comment on which prediction you disagree with, and sway me in the right direction, okay? Before the fights tomorrow, sway me in the right direction. And guys, enjoy the rest of your night, man. Hey, listen, I don't know if you read it, but I will be live for the entire card tomorrow. So come on in and say what's up. Dose.